Here's what to look for when buying a vintage Rolex. Generally speaking, anything over 25 years old is considered to be a vintage timepiece. However, some collectors say anything older than 1985 should be considered vintage. This year is a transition point when computer-aided design took over. So when looking at a vintage Rolex, the most important thing is to find something that is all original. It's very common when shopping for vintage pieces to find watches that have been serviced over the years, where the manufacturer has replaced out parts, such as the dial, bezel, bracelet, or even sometimes parts on the movement. So once we look at the originality of the components of the watch, we then want to focus on the condition of the watch itself. A lot of the character of a vintage piece rests in the dial, from the patina, from how it's aged over time, if there's any damage on it. The next thing we're looking at is the hands. You want to make sure on a vintage piece, the age of the hands matches the age of the dial. Next, with dive watches, we can go into the bezel. Most dive watches from that era will have an aluminum bezel and they will fade over time. Because this is a natural aging process, we can't really control how the bezels fade. So over time, certain bezels will fade better than others, and these ones are definitely more desirable and collectible. From there, we also look at the